Hello, everybody, and welcome to this virtual open day. And I'm here to talk to you about master's degrees in hospitality and tourism at Bournemouth University. My name is Duncan Light, and I'm the framework leader for master's degrees in hospitality and tourism. So, what I'm going to talk to you about today is firstly, why you would want to study a master's degree in tourism or hospitality. I'm going to tell you a bit about our 4 degrees, our master's degrees in tourism and hospitality. I'm going to tell you why you might want to study at Bournemouth University, and then I'm going to tell you a bit about why you might want to study in Bournemouth. So, why would you want to study a master's degree in hospitality or tourism? Well, quite simply, tourism is the world's largest industry. Contributes something like $8.9 trillion to the global economy each year. It's difficult to imagine that much money. Accounts for 330 million jobs worldwide. That's over a tenth of all jobs, and there are forecasts it's going to continue expanding with perhaps 73 million new jobs by 2022. And tourism is the world's largest industry. It accounts for 10.3% of the world's GDP. Now, when it comes to hospitality, there are currently over 700,000 hotels worldwide, and the global hotel industry is huge, reckoned to be worth about $570 billion. And it employs over 173 million people, and new hotels are opening all the time. So it's reckoned that about 250 new hotels open each month around the world. So this is some interesting data from the United Nations World Tourism Organization, and it talks about the expansion of tourism. And it made this famous prediction that by 2030, there would be 1.8 billion international tourist arrivals. Now, until recently, it looked like that figure would be reached well before 2030. But we're in the middle of a COVID-19 outbreak, and you might very well ask yourself, why would I want to study tourism and hospitality during a global pandemic, particularly as tourism and hospitality have crashed across the world? Well, that's a very good question, but this will be temporary. The tourism industry will recover. And by the time you graduate, the tourism industry will be well back on the road to normality. People are always going to want to travel. They're always going to want to stay in hotels. They're always going to want to see new parts of the world. So yes, at the moment, tourism has crashed, but as soon as this pandemic's over, tourism will recover very, very quickly. And so there will still be expansion of the industry, and there will still be job opportunities there for you. So what can you study at Bournemouth University? We offer 4 master's degrees in hospitality and tourism. The first, our flagship course, which is the most popular, is MSc International Hospitality and Tourism Management. The second is MSc Tourism Management, MSc Tourism Marketing Management, and MSc Hotel and Food Service Management. And the key point about all our master's degrees is that they are conversion courses. So they're intended for people who haven't studied tourism or hospitality at bachelor's level, but want to retrain or take a new direction in life and want to study a master's degree in tourism. So if you study any of our master's degrees in tourism or hospitality, they will assume that you haven't studied the subject previously. And so it's an excellent introduction to these courses. So let's look at our first degree, which is MSc International Hospitality and Tourism Management. This is our most popular master's degree. It gets between 50 and 60 students on every intake. And it's an ideal introduction to hospitality and tourism if you haven't studied either of them previously. So it will tell you about both. And it's good for giving you a thorough grounding of knowledge and understanding about hospitality and tourism if you don't know whether you want to specialise in one or the other. And it prepares you for a wide range of roles in hotels and hospitality, but also tourism. And it's a course that is very much grounded in industry expertise. So there are plenty of industry visits, field trips and so on, and also guest speakers from experts who come to talk to our students. So the structure of this course. There are 5 core units. Hospitality Operations Management introduces you to the key principles and practices of managing hospitality. Then there's a unit about innovations in hospitality. So this looks at some of the future trends, current issues and future trends in hospitality. There's a unit about the industry itself. So it's called the Tourism and Hospitality Industries. And then there's a unit about destinations. In other words, the places where tourism and hospitality unfolds. And then finally, there's a unit all about business strategy, and it relates this to finance. So there's 5 core units. You would also take 1 optional unit from that list. It's a completely free choice depending on what interests you the most. All we would say is that sometimes not every option is offered in every year, depending on how many people want to do it. After you've done 6 units, you can then choose to do a placement, which is work experience, working in industry. I'll talk a bit more about that later on. That's 30 weeks. And then you will go on to do a dissertation, which is a piece of original research on any subject related to tourism and hospitality that interests you. And if you're thinking of doing this degree, you may want to know, well, what are the career opportunities? Well, our alumni, our students, are employed by industries around the globe, including key players like Hilton, Marriott, and so on. Some of our alumni have gone into related industries, so they haven't necessarily stuck with tourism and hospitality, and they've gone into things like banking, marketing, sports, events, and so on. But this course will prepare you for jobs such as hotel operations management, customer service management, food and beverage management, especially within hotels and restaurants, things like social media marketing, human resource management, or it'll also prepare you to open your own business in hospitality or tourism. So our second degree is MSc Tourism Management. This is one that I teach on. So this degree is all about the management of the places that tourists go to, destinations, attractions, and towns and cities. And there's an emphasis on understanding and managing the impacts of people, both on the destination and on the people who live there and on the local environment. And again, it includes visits to local visitor attractions. So we work quite closely with some local tourist attractions. We take our students there and they work with that attraction to produce their assessment. And like all our degrees, there's input from industry experts and guest speakers and so on. So the structure of MSc Tourism Management, again, there are 5 core units. The first is managing visitor attractions. So this is specifically about managing attractions, whether they are museums, theme parks, heritage attractions, zoos, or whatever. Then there's a unit in tourism planning and development, which again focuses on the destination and how tourism planning can be designed to bring about development of both people, environment, and economy in the destination. Then there's the tourism and hospitality industries, which is an introduction to the industry side of things, and a unit about destinations, which focuses on the places that tourists go and how tourism unfolds there. And like our other degrees, there's a unit in business strategy, which also includes finance. And then like all our degrees, you can choose an optional unit. Again, that's a list of options. They may not all run in every year, but they're certainly offered every year. It depends how many people want to choose a particular option. Then after that, you can again choose to do a placement for 30 weeks. I'll talk about that a bit later. And then you would do a dissertation on any topic that interests you with the supervision of a member of staff. And the sort of career opportunities this leads to, well, our alumni are employed by tour operators, government, ministries of tourism, some global hotel chains, and a number of them also work at visitor attractions around the world. And again, some of our alumni have gone on from tourism to other industries, such as hospitality, hotel management, banking, finance, marketing, retail, and so on. But this degree will prepare you for roles such as being a local or a national government tourism planner, working for a tourism development agency, working in visitor attraction management, so anything from a museum to a zoo or a theme park. There's quite a big emphasis on heritage interpretation and museums within this course, so it will prepare you for those sorts of roles, or you can go on to study for a doctorate, which a number of our students do. Our third master's is MSc Tourism Marketing Management. This is all about the management of tourism marketing. So this is very much a cutting-edge course taught by international experts in this issue. It focuses on modern marketing in a digital context, in digital environments. But it also blends academic research with the best of professional practice, and it's very real-world based. So all of your study is based on real-life examples that are supported and backed up by academic theory. And the focus is global, not just one country, And it's very, very much focused on cutting edge real-time issues, particularly related to digital marketing. We offer a student-centered learning environment where students are taken very seriously and supported through their learning, and there's an emphasis on intellectual achievement and preparing you for work. And like our other degrees, there's plenty of networking opportunities with both national, local and global industry people through various events, seminars, conferences, and so on. So the structure of MSc Tourism Marketing Management, again, there are 5 core units. Tourism Marketing Innovation, and the focus here is on innovation, what is new, what is happening, what is emerging. E-tourism and digital marketing, so again, very strongly focused on digital aspects of marketing. And then there are general units about the industry, tourism and hospitality industries, about the places, the destinations where tourism and hospitality unfolds, and there's a unit in business strategy and finance. And like all our degrees, you can choose one optional unit from that list. And then when you've done 6 units, you can choose to go on to a placement. It's optional, lasts for 30 weeks of work experience, and then you can do a dissertation in any subject that interests you. And doing this course will prepare you for a range of careers in tourism and hospitality around the world. Some of our alumni have gone on to work for the United Nations World Tourism Organization, destination marketing organizations, government marketing organizations, airlines, hotels, travel agencies, and tour operators. And some of them work for the big companies such as Google and TripAdvisor. So this degree would prepare you for roles such as strategic and operational marketing, digital, social media marketing, destination management and promotion, or it'll also prepare you to open your own business. And then our 4th master's degree is Hotel and Food Service Management. And this is all about academic content that is very much focused on professions and on the industry. So it's linking academic knowledge with professional practice. Again, our learning environment is student-centered, so there's a big emphasis on supporting students in their learning. And again, there's an emphasis on intellectual achievement and preparing you for the world of work. And like I said, there's very strong practical orientation around this, often around innovation in issues relating to food in a hospitality and tourism context, and a real business emphasis on the content. But it takes place in a research active setting, so some of the people that teach this are international researchers into food management. I'll show you their photographs later on. And like all our degrees, we offer an international perspective. So what's the course look like? Again, there are 5 core units. So the first is food operations management. So this is the key principles and practice about how you manage food in a hospitality setting. Then there's a unit called food production and innovation management. And this is about developing innovative food products that can be brought to market within the hospitality and tourism industry. So the emphasis is very much on the future. There's a unit called global food and drink, which looks at where our food comes from, both globally and locally, and how the local and the global are connected in what we eat and drink. There's a unit called the tourism and hospitality industries, and a unit called business strategy, which also includes finance. And then, like all our degrees, you get to choose one option from that list, and those options will normally run every year. And then once you've done 6 taught units, you can go on to an optional placement, in other words, work experience in industry, which lasts for 30 weeks. And then you come back to the university and do a dissertation, which is a piece of research on any topic that interests you. And this degree will prepare you for careers in a range of hospitality and tourism enterprises. And again, our graduates have gone on to work for Hilton, Marriott, IHG, as well as related industries. So even though they've done a master's in food and hospitality, some of our students go on to finance, marketing, or retail. But it will prepare you for roles such as operations management within a hospitality setting, customer service management, human resource management, hotel and restaurant management, or it will set you up to open your own business in food. So I've talked a number of times about our placement, and this is a feature of our degrees we're very proud of. It's also very popular with our students. Many of our students do choose to do a work placement. So everybody on our hospitality and tourism degrees has the opportunity for a 30-week paid placement in the tourism and hospitality sector. It can either be in the UK or in fact it can be anywhere in the world. Now, it's important that you know that the university doesn't just give you a placement, doesn't arrange it all for you. But what it will do is give you a whole load of information about placements that are available, and it will help you to apply for them. But some of these placements are competitive, so you have to put in a good application, and the placement provider will take the best student. So you will have to do the hard work of researching your placement and applying for it. The university won't just give you a placement, but it will support you to arrange a placement, and it will tell you about all the opportunities that are available. So you might be wondering about Bournemouth University, and you may not even have heard about Bournemouth. I'll tell you about that later. Bournemouth University is a medium-sized university with 18,000 students, but it does include almost 2,000 international students from 130 countries. So it is a very international university. Like all universities, it's investing. So recently it's invested over £130 million in new buildings and IT facilities and learning technology. Like a lot of universities, it's committed to teaching and research, but it's also committed to professional practice. In other words, making links with business and industry and using that knowledge to inform what we teach our students. We have great learning facilities here. Well, I would say that, but we do have fantastic new buildings with state-of-the-art computer labs, lecture theatres, and so on. And we also have an excellent record for getting our students into employment. Our undergraduate students have a record of something like 96% in employment within 6 months of graduating. Now, we also have an international reputation for tourism and hospitality at Bournemouth University. We're 10th in the world for hospitality and tourism according to the Shanghai rankings. We're 10th in the world for hospitality and leisure according to the QS World University rankings. And then Bournemouth University itself is ranked in the top 550 universities in the world. It's ranked in the top 100 universities in the world for the impact of its research. It's ranked in the top 150 universities in Europe for the quality of its teaching. And it's ranked in the top 150 young universities in the world, or new universities. So it's a vigorous, energetic, and lively place, Bournemouth University. Now, you might be thinking, what about Bournemouth? I've never heard of Bournemouth. Well, this shows you where Bournemouth is. It's a coastal town. It's a seaside town. It's on the south coast, which is the warmest and sunniest part of Britain. And we get something like 25% more sunshine than the national average. But it's close to London. There are direct train and coach links. You can get to London within 1 hour, 45 minutes by train very easily. There are 2 trains an hour. Bournemouth is a seaside town, so that's its pier, that's its beach, and it is famous for its 12 kilometres of glorious sandy beaches. And on days like today, when the sun is shining, Bournemouth Beach is absolutely packed with holidaymakers. It's a 19th century town, so there's some very fine 19th century architecture. That's one view of some shopping arcades. But because the climate's so warm, we can grow pine trees here. So that's a particularly nice view of Bournemouth's lower gardens, lit up in the middle of summer, and you can see the pine trees are doing well. We are also host to the country's biggest air festival, which takes place every August. And some of the top acts in air displays feature this display. Everybody goes down to the beach. There's about 500,000 people there on the Saturday, and you just watch these fantastic air shows appearing over the sea in front of you. But Bournemouth is also close to some really beautiful countryside. So this is the town of Poole, and this is Poole Harbour, which is only about 5 kilometres away. And this is the largest, second largest, I should say, natural harbour in the world. We also have the Jurassic Coast World Heritage Site, which is half an hour's drive away. And this is somewhere we take our students during induction week. And we have the New Forest National Park, which is just a forest full of horses. So it's a very beautiful area. And then we have things like the Dorset area of outstanding natural beauty. Again, only half an hour's drive away. So Bournemouth is a lively coastal town, but it's also situated in the middle of some beautiful countryside, and there are loads and loads of things to do here. So if you're interested in studying a Master's in Tourism or Hospitality at Bournemouth University, have your phones ready, get ready to take a photograph of these pages, These are the people you need to see. So for more information about MSc International Hospitality and Tourism Management, the person you need to talk to is this. Now, he's from Greece and none of us can pronounce his name, but he calls himself Babis, okay? And that's his email address. So Babis will be able to tell you about MSc International Hospitality and Tourism Management. If you want more information about MSc Tourism Management, then it's me that you need to talk to. So as I said, my name's Duncan Light and that's my email address. If you want to know more, just send me an email. If you're interested in MSc Tourism Marketing Management, then the person you need to talk to is Dr. Daisy Fan, and that's Daisy, and that's her email address. And if you're interested in MSc Hotel and Food Service Management, the person you need to talk to is Professor Heather Hartwell, and that's her email address. And of course, you can find more information about all our master's degrees in tourism and hospitality on our website, where there's plenty of information about the individual units, the course structure, the people who teach it, and so on. So thank you very much for watching, and who knows, hopefully we'll see you at Bournemouth University sometime in the future.